Bamborough back with Grand Tactician Civil War in 1.07 beta. Right at the end of the last episode, we had made contact and a battle was initiated between Irvin McDowell's Potomac Army and the CSA Army of the Potomac, commanded by PGT Beauregard. Okay, and here we are. Battle of Manassas Junction. We are in an attacking situation. Right now on the field, I don't believe there's reinforcements for either side. We do have a pretty sizable troop count advantage. However, we're the ones attacking. And there's a lot of pretty good defensive situations on this particular map. So the AI may put up a pretty good defensive position, even if they're not particularly trying to. The morale is remarkably even, given that we're fighting in Virginia. I would have expected us to have a lower morale than the Confederacy. And we do, but only by about a point and a half. So that's, I actually see that as in our favor. Morale isn't great for either side. And that's probably reflective of the fact that this is everybody's first combat in these armies. Okay. Here's the two Confederate-held objectives here. What are those? I don't see names. Matthews Hill and Henry Hill. And we are probably, yeah, we're coming from up here in the northeast. Don't have too much artillery. We have one independently commanded battery, 6 guns, of 10-pounder Parrots, and then there's a couple of, not all, but a couple of the divisions have some smoothbores. They're 12-pounder field guns. I had just enough to equip them with that, so at least they're not 6-pounder field guns. And it looks pretty clear we're gonna, we don't have any cavalry for scouting. I know I don't want to be crossing Bull Run right here in front of the objectives. Right? I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. Trying to cross up here, that can be quite a mess in there. I think the best thing to do is try to get across Bull Run down here to the south and then advance up this way. That'll take longer to do. Now, the terrain is such that they could still set up a pretty nice position facing us regardless, and there is still a creek, but I think that'll be better than trying to go directly at them. Trying to cross these fords here. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of marching to do, and I will be back. Yeah, I sent a skirmisher unit over here just to get a little vision, and sure enough, there's their defensive position that was facing pretty much right there where the most obvious crossing spots were. So yeah, the army is still marching its way over kind of this way. It'll be a while. Maybe day 2, possibly even day 3, before we're ready to make our advance. Okay, this is pretty interesting. As we are continuing to move on down this way, in order to get to a position to go up in this direction, I've moved these skirmishers around and they have vacated their breastworks. They're not here anymore. And I just caught sight of one brigade momentarily moving this way along the Manassas-Sudley Road. So they are responding to our movements. Which is interesting in that, you know, they shouldn't be able to see us. That whole AI doesn't have fog of war thing. Okay. Just thought I'd give that quick little update as we maneuvered. Right. So Beauregard had his army over here near the objectives with some breastworks. And they have moved down this road and are now setting up over here near this Confederate-owned entry point. McDowell, I've got him bringing his army to this position. It's almost 2000. It's July. Sunset will be 2100. So nothing's going to happen today. But looks like the battle's going to be down here. Which, you know, the terrain's still not great. There's a lot of woods in here. I don't know if artillery is going to be a huge factor. There's not very much artillery on either side anyway. But it's a lot better than trying to cross Bull Run on fords under fire. And also no breastworks. So meanwhile, I didn't see any reason not to. I've got a skirmisher unit over here. They're hard to pick up on the paper map. Somewhere over here, I've got a skirmisher that's just going to walk over here and take the objectives. I don't see any reason to give them the victory points for it, and it may goad them into making some attacks that perhaps they shouldn't. Although we're going to be out in open ground too, so that's what's going on. I'll be back probably on day 2. I think the battle's going to happen in the morning. Okay, it's 5 o'clock in the morning on day 2. You can see the deployment zone it gave us. This is the last sighted position of the Confederates as of last night. They may still be here, but I've got most of our infantry on this side of this creek, and they're going to attack into the Confederate flank, if that is still the Confederate flank. And then I've got one division over here, just kind of near the artillery. This kind of looked like a decent spot for our parrots, and I was wrong. There's actually 2 batteries there. And these are our smoothbores. They're out in front at the moment, but you know, all these guys are going to be moving forward. They'll be behind the infantry pretty soon. I detached Burnside because he was the smallest brigade, and he's going to march over here and capture the objectives. The skirmisher unit didn't get that done in time before sunset, and skirmishers don't, I guess they're not enough troops to have their own little portion of deployment zone, so he got popped back over here. Okay, well, looks like they're still there. Okay, Burnside, head on up to Henry Hill. And see, he's detached, but he still has to wait for his order to get to him. So detached status isn't really all that terribly detached. Okay. Let's get Hunter out to about here. Move Heinzelman over to about here. And who's this? Tyler. We'll just get him up here right behind the artillery. Still got a skirm up in here, just maintaining vision on the Rebs. See if you can see any more down here in this cover by the creek in the woods. Oh, they got all their skirms out. Now that's pretty interesting. I don't really recall seeing unengaged line of AI with a big line of skirmishers out in front like that. So then that may be some new 107 behavior. Burnside moving? No, because he's going that way. That's fine. Is that me shooting at them? That's me shooting at them. Yeah, let's go ahead and put these boys on counter battery. So we'll move this artillery commander up closer to them. I've got a pretty narrow field of fire through this small clear area between the woods. Oh, wait a minute now. Looks like Johnny Reb may be making an attack here. Maybe. Maybe they were just getting out of the artillery fire. I don't know. No, they're just I think they're just reorienting their posture toward us. Okay, let's move Hunter and Heinzelman forward, and we'll engage them in the woods. As this begins to develop, we'll send Tyler forward this way. At least for the time being, Miles is... guys are really just kind of here to keep this artillery from getting into trouble. Okay, Burnside should be capturing this. Should be capturing this. What, does he have to get right on it? And they're reorienting to meet my movements. Okay. That may give Miles a flanking opportunity. Although he's got to cross a damn creek to get to it. Let's move him up to here. It's a little bit separated from the rest of the army. Okay. Burnside is capturing the objectives. They've piled up 30 points from objectives. Morale is deteriorated on both sides, and both sides have lost a few men. I think that's from overnight attrition, not from combat. I was outside of McDowell's. McDowell needs to move up. But he also needs to keep... Yeah, we're a little bit too spread out here, I'm afraid. Okay. Burnside. This other one. Okay, we got infantry contact in the woods over here. I think there's still a skirmisher somewhere over here. Yeah, I think he's outlived his purpose. Let's go ahead and pull him in. Is battery still firing? No, I don't really have shots anymore. Well, you know, it says idle, but then you see him banging away. They may not have the best topography there. Let's get them. There's some higher ground over here. Let's get them over here. We'll let the skirmishers work on them for a little bit. Cohesion and fatigue are doing fine. Actually, what I should have done. Okay. Can we do that? Yeah. Let's have these guys come over here and maybe get behind and skirmish fire at the artillery. Okay, I think all of these orbitals are properly engaged now. Well, not quite yet. Well, by the time they get over there, they will be. Let's go ahead and advance Tyler's division. Skirms are doing fine. I think a skirm probably already got driven in right there. Quarters skirms are, yeah. Skirms are doing fine. Just kind of softening the revs up here for a little while. Tyler comes up. 12-pound field guns banging away again. I don't want him in that creek. Skirmisher's doing some work back over here, getting this artillery to waver. Tyler's moving forward now. Davey's advancing on whoever this is. Who is that? Looks like Coke. pretty even exchange right here. They've both taken about the same number of casualties. We're about to get Davies' 2nd Brigade involved. Blinkers here in case Taylor doesn't make out too well. He's at 380. Okay. Alright. Let's pull these skirmishers in. Coke is broken, or is he's falling back. He's wavering. Burnside has gotten the 2nd objective point. I guess you may as well come back over here with your division. These skirms have taken care of that artillery. Just have Taylor fall back. And we'll put Blinker up in his place. Check in contact. Oh, that's okay. Franklin has taken some losses. Howard has taken some losses. Guys are still moving up here on the flank. I hope. Go faster, please. Let's back Franklin out. Get Wilcox up in here. Wilcox facing the correct direction. Oh, I've got these guys turned around somehow again. They're not close to breaking, they just... I thought I would even out the casualties a little bit. And they're retreating. And apparently we've already qualified for the major victory. They've taken 4,000 losses to our 2,000. We've taken some losses. Our morale remains about the same. Theirs has dropped considerably. Okay. Got to be said, most of the troops in this one army, most of them are rifle armed. I don't know if every single brigade is. But that's a factor. You gonna move to your assigned position? They've got the marching animation. I guess the woods are slowing them down that much. Let's get Erasmus keys in there. Richardson has taken enough casualties. That artillery unit that was routed by the skirms earlier. Speaking of the skirms. And they're up to almost 28% losses, 5,000. They're taking about 2,500. They're maintaining a 2-to-1 casualty ratio in our favor, but actually that's fairly low. Okay, they're at 30% losses, 5,500 loss. 8% for us. That is not insignificant. A lot of these troops we have are on 90-day volunteer contracts with only about 3 weeks remaining. Right at the beginning of August, first week of August, a big chunk of these troops are going to go home. So it's good to get this pretty big win done before that happens. %, right here at the end. Okay, well, Beauregard lost all of his guns, didn't have any Cav 2 lose, about a third of his force, and we lost about 8 or 9% of ours. Okay, 3rd Division. Who is that? Heinzelman. Heinzelman's guys did the most work. 2nd Division, I think that's probably the guys that were across the creek guarding our artillery batteries. No, that's Hunter. I would have thought he did more than that. He did have one of his brigades off capturing objectives, but I thought one of his brigades was pretty well engaged. And then about 1,000 each for the other 2 divisions. Fairly well spread out, I guess. 4th Division, these are the artillery. Yeah, they really didn't do much because they're tiny. Okay. And I don't really know what with this new project, the artillery reform, can still get as many guns on the field, right? Just by recruiting more artillery batteries. Would that be sufficient? Rather than spend the military subsidies on the artillery reform? I don't know. Runyon, famous. That's the artillery commander. Okay, we captured 4,000 rifles of some type and 4 cannon. Let's see if we can pick up. What is this? Oh, yeah. That's Hampton. We've got one port down close to Norfolk, near Fort Monroe, and the James River Squadron is blockading it. Let's see if we picked up anything noticeable here. One nice thing about the cavalry reform and only being able to recruit, you know, the max size of Cav Brigade right now is only 500. But that means even when you start with a fairly low number of good Cav weapons, there may still be enough to kind of go around. So I have recruited a few Cav units because they're so small, just mainly for scouting for the armies, and I was able to give them Maynards, which I would not have been able to do if I had recruited the larger size Cav brigades. Okay, do we have a brigade's worth of anything good? I may have a brigade somewhere that is small enough to take these Springfield rifle muskets. Maybe somewhere there's one small enough for Mississippi's. I've got enough Napoleons for 3 6-gun batteries. Now I need to get on that. Yeah, I think I just picked up Nick's muskets, maybe some Springfield muskets. Okay. Joe Johnson has fallen back to Winchester after his defeat up here just across the river in Maryland. However, despite being victorious, Patterson's army is in the red for readiness. He's not going to be doing anything real soon. He is in 100%. Do I have the... I do have him turned on, but it's not showing where he's getting supply from. Local supply. He's probably getting it right there from Hagerstown. So Johnson retreated to Winchester, but Patterson at the moment is not in any condition to pursue across the river. It's going to take him a while to get up even to yellow readiness to go into enemy territory. And likewise, McDowell, coming out of that battle, down into orange, which means he's not going to be able to do anything immediately to follow up. However, retained possession of Alexandria, and this Manassas Depot has fallen under Union control. That's good for us. McClellan's still here gaining readiness. So, I mean, we're only 2 days into the campaign. And I think... yeah, this is the new army, which is supposed to be moving down to Cairo. Maybe because I saved and reloaded, it broke the movement order. Well, and that's actually okay, because I think I would rather have him coming to Louisville anyway. For the moment. Let's bring him here. And then I'm about to save and exit anyway, so I may have to do that again. We do have sight of the Missouri State Guard. 5,000 men here. And we've got about... So these two forces are about the same size. However, there is another Confederate army down here. The Army of the West under Ben McCulloch. And he may be right behind Price there. I'm going to continue this movement up to Rolla. Okay. Well, that was our first kind of... It wasn't the first battle. We fought a battle last episode, but that was a bigger battle here at the beginning of this 1.07 campaign. If you like what we're doing with the channel, if you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment. Perhaps even subscribe if it strikes your fancy. If you're new to the channel, new to this series, there's not very many episodes in this series yet, but there's a couple, and I'm linking a playlist here if you want to go back and have a look at those. Or in the future, jump to the future and look at later episodes. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.